Okay, so I thought I would start by talking about what we used for our language arts and reading this year. I have a daughter that is 7.5. She is technically in the 2nd grade, but you'll see most of the stuff we worked on was 1st grade. She has some reading issues. We think it's possibly dyslexia, and we are actually going to get tested this summer and work from there. But this is what we use. Also, let me just say that for grammar and such, I don't feel that it was, personally, it's not something major that we need to touch on this year. And so that it was really light for us. We will start probably with our All About Reading. Most of y'all have probably heard of All About Reading. It's a wonderful program. It comes with the readers. And my daughter loved the readers. She thinks the stories are really awesome. They're to the point. They're all on words that she's recently worked on. They're pretty much what they are. They're a kid's reader. They're good. They help her build. One thing I will say is I didn't find that they helped with fluency whatsoever. So we have actually added in something to help with fluency, and you'll see that here in a little bit. Our biggest complaint about All About Reading is going to be the practice sheets. For us, these were hard, and it hasn't really helped her. Just because it's words, and she can't, it's not decodable whatsoever. So, I mean, I guess that does help, but with the struggles that she's facing, she needs some of the decodability, I guess would be the word. I don't even know if that's a word, but she needs some of that to help her be able to build her confidence and to read the words. So we've actually added in a second program to fill in that gap. And then the activities she likes. They're awesome. We do it. We cover usually about 2 All About Reading lessons a week. There's also, of course, our flashcards for blends, letters, chunks, whatever you want to call them, word flashcards. And we go over those every time we do a lesson. Sometimes we go over them every day. It just depends. Of course, there's the handy dandy word tiles. We have a whiteboard that we work on these. That's helped a lot. That's helped me a lot. We actually started with level 1 during the summer because it was our first year homeschooling. She had gone to public school for pre-K, kindergarten, and 1st grade, and then we brought her home. During the summer, we started with All About Reading level 1, and again, that was just as much for me because, yeah, none of it made sense. I didn't know what a long E was. Now I know the long, the short, and blends, and consonants, and chunks, and teams, and whatever anybody calls them. These kind of help and they kind of don't. They help her see them. She doesn't like working with the tiles. I find it a little bit odd, but it does help to visually lay it out and to separate it and to learn how to do that. Again, on fluency, she hasn't mastered that. She can't really do that when she's just reading. So we do like All About Reading. I don't know if we'll do All About Reading 3. We're going to see. We'll see what happens. For fluency, we added in the simple pathway readers. These are awesome. They have stories that she likes. Simple black and white pictures again, wholesome stories. And I would say they're what I would call a decodable reader. She can easily read these and read them fluently, which is awesome. We are doing grade 1. And we added in the workbook for this, mainly because I wanted to add in something that she could do on her own. We do a lot of Charlotte Mason style work, and I felt like being a first-year homeschooler that I was afraid, I should say, that she was missing something by not completing some work on her own. So we have added in these, and they do what they're good. They cover Usually they're going to have a learning through sound. So that's going to be something where they're working on their phonics. And then they're going to have something, an activity that's going to introduce them to the words that they're going to be, new words that they'll have in the story for that day. And then they're going to have an activity that's talking about the story. And I will say that my daughter really enjoys these. Like, there's some where you have to find specifically what they're talking about on certain pages and write the page numbers down. I have no clue why, but for some reason, that's a total struggle for her, and she freaks out. But she is getting better. For English, again, for grammar and structure and stuff like that, we added in Climbing to Good English. This was just because it wasn't, it wasn't expensive, and I felt like when you pay less for it, it's easier to pick and choose what you do. And again, I wanted something that would just offer her the option of working on her own, because I just felt like she needed that. This was grade 1 as well, and it started out really good, and then we have gotten totally frustrated by it. I don't know why. We've actually kind of moved away from it. A lot of it probably is because she's past this, and I think that's what it was. Honestly, it really is. But I still pick and choose some pages for her to work on. It starts out, the beginning was a lot of phonics, and we didn't work on that much because she is actually really good at phonics. She's just not good at decoding, so. Then it goes into like sentence structure, and by the end, it starts going into nouns and verbs and like paragraphs. Again, it's good. It's cheap. I'll link it down below where I got it from. The one thing that we absolutely love this year is Spelling You See. We are in B. Again, that's probably around first grade level usually. We like it. It's straight to the point. At the first half of the book, the way that B is set up, it's the first half is going to be in one way, and the second half you transition into a kind of similar style of what the remaining courses are. So during the first half of the year, we have done where they have a simple nursery rhyme, and she'll go through and she'll mark or underline simple things, such as this one was silent E. They also just paid attention to capital letters, to punctuation. Then they're going to go through and they're going to do copy work. They're just going to copy a section of the nursery rhyme every day. And then she would simply spell words that I called out to her. On this, I helped her. If she was getting it wrong, I tried to help sound it out. If she couldn't sound it out, then I did tell her how to spell it. And then, now, the second half, we've moved on, and they still have just a nursery rhyme. We read the nursery rhyme every day, and then you're going to look through for other things like bossy R chunks and consonant pairs, vowel pairs. I think is what it was, vowel pairings. You look through, you highlight it to help them figure out the sounds. It's pretty much a visual representation of spelling. And so she underlines that in colors. Then we go on and she copies it. They spend 3 days copying it. And then she has a day of free write where she can draw a picture and then do whatever she wants. And then on the final day, there's dictation. We work with the same nursery rhyme all week long, so she sees the same chunks or items all week. So like, you'll see here, we jump to vowel chunks and bossy R's, and then it just comes with a simple Jack and Jill instructor's handbook. Gives you the spelling words for the first half, and then just the code for the second half. Again, we've loved this. There really wasn't a complaint on it, and we will still do that next year, for sure. It's pretty much, it's copy work. I mean, that's all it is it's pretty much taking copy work and lays it out. I can say if you have a child that does not like to write, this would not be a good fit. But for us, we like it. This Climbing to Good English, again, for what it is, it's great. It doesn't cost a lot. I don't think we'll be using it again. We do enjoy these readers. She loves them. They are building her confidence, so we will continue with this pathway. We'll continue doing that. And All About Reading, we'll see. We'll see if we're going to keep going or not going. It depends largely if we end up taking more specific classes for dyslexia next year or not. And that's just going to be timing, you know. Do we have the time? What do we need to add in? And that's what we use this year for reading and language arts. We've spent most of our day revolves around reading, just because I feel like, you know, second grade, we need to strengthen those skills. And